Do you know what? I feel like Mitch wouldn't have been as messy if me and him coupled up. Some people that are classed as a villain from X series are the nicest people in real life. Yeah, do you know what? We had a little date night last night. I wouldn't say it was the full-blown works, but we definitely went out for a few drinks, got a little bit tipsy. Hi, I'm Demi and I'm playing Spy in the Villa with Digital Spy. Oh my God, do you know what? I'm actually nervous to see what's in here. I'm like, is it going to be juicy? Let's have a little, see what the first one is saying. Ooh, viewers were shipping you and Chris at first. Do you think there's still anything to explore? I'm actually a bit disappointed in Chris, you know, because I feel like when the public put us together, that was such a good match. And I was even thinking before I went in the villa, you know, you kind of predict to yourself what islanders are going to be in there. And I thought, I actually hope Chris is in there. And he slid into my DMs like a few years prior, so I knew he was attracted to me. So when the public put us together, I thought, perfect, like we're such bubbly, such similar people. But bless his heart, he weren't interested. It is what it is. So we went straight to sort of like friendship couple and just really, really friendly. So it's a shame, but everything happens for a reason and we're definitely going to be friends on the outside. How did you leave things with Kaz and where do you think her Love Island journey might go from here? Can I just say, me and Kaz are friends. We've always been friends. We've been friends for years and we're still friends now. Don't get me wrong, it was difficult in there and I feel like tensions are very high and you can be left feeling vulnerable. And I always say when you're in there and no one is really attracted to you or you're not really cracking on with someone, it can feel like it's such a lonely place because everyone's, you know, cracking on and really getting to know each other. And if you're not in that sort of part of that, it can feel quite lonely. So I completely understand why she felt vulnerable, where she felt a bit upset, but we've spoke it through, we're absolutely fine. And I think towards the end she was rooting for me, of course, and I'm now rooting for her, so I want her to do really well. I feel like there's no one in there for her at the moment, so I'm really hoping a sexy bombshell comes in and whisks her off her feet. Okay, which couple from this series do you think will stay together the longest? Right now, I'm really not too sure. I don't think any couple is going to stay together more than a day at this rate. I'm thinking I might have high hopes for Molly and Tom, actually. Although it's very early doors, I think if he sticks with Mole, I think they could be a really good couple. And I think they're absolutely gorgeous together. So that could definitely be a vibe. If Tom just like keeps focused, like resist temptation, come on Tom, you can do this, be a man, and he'll get this. But when girls are strutting around that villa in sexy bikinis, I'm not surprised men's heads are just scrambled day to day. If you could have coupled up with anyone you wanted to on day one, who would you have chosen? Do you know what? I'm actually glad I was coupled up with Chris because I feel like he would have been my option, like who I wanted to go for. And when Maya did the twist and we had to pick who we wanted to couple up with at first, I was going to go towards Chris. Then 3 girls lined up and I thought, not today. I do not have time for competition today. And obviously I went for Lou, but it's because he's like my normal type, very attractive. But I'm glad the public put me and Chris together because I wanted to have explored that first of all anyway. And you know, you got to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. Although me and Chris didn't snog, but we had a cuddle. Ooh, what's the update between yourself and Lewis? Very good question. What is the update? So do you know what? Me and Lou actually formed such a nice special bond in Love Island. We were actually the only ones that really liked each other. So I think it was such a shock for all the islanders as well as ourselves that we were dumped because everyone was saying, oh, Dems, you and Lou, like you really like each other. You're going to do so well in this competition. So I think naturally we were a bit more relaxed. We thought, do you know what? We're the only ones that actually like each other. So it was such a shock. But obviously since coming out, it's difficult. I live in Portsmouth. He lives in Manchester and all your work commitments are super, super crazy. But I would definitely say I'm definitely still single. Lou is definitely still single. I only met him 3 weeks ago, guys. But we are still getting to know each other. So we'll just see what happens. Yeah, do you know what? We had a little date night last night. I wouldn't say it was the full-blown works, but we definitely went out for a few drinks, got a little bit tipsy, and had a little bit of a boogie. So yeah, it was nice. Oh, Georgia S is stuck between Calum and Tom. Who do you think she should go with? I'm rooting for Georgia and Calum. I feel like they're so compatible. So I'm so surprised she spent the night in the hideaway and the next day she was like, I don't think I could ever go there with him. And I'm thinking, what? The hideaway is supposed to spice things up and make you want it even more. So I'm so surprised by that. But I think Tom has been a massive curveball for her. I think they've got a little bit of history. She's really attracted to him. So naturally, he's put the bad boy. So when the bad boy's around, you're kind of like naturally looking for them, aren't you? Who wants the good boy when you've got the bad boy strutting around the villa? But I do hope she goes for Calum because I think they'd be a really nice match. Was there anything from your time on the show you wished viewers had seen? You know what? One thing I will say actually is I feel like they didn't show enough of me and Lou. When we were in there, we were actually inseparable. And even when he was getting to know Kaz, we were just together all the time. And I feel like they didn't really show that until after the kiss. But honestly, from the day we met each other, we were inseparable. So I'm surprised that wasn't so much shown. And you know what else? Like, the unseen bits is my favourite bit because I feel like that's a true perspective of what's actually going on in that villa. We're just playing games, we're laughing, we're having the best time. Whereas the main show is so dramatic and it's all the recouplings. But if it was unseen bits every night, honestly, you'd be cracking up because we just had the best time. So, what was the response like when you left the villa? Incredible. I was so lucky, and it's always a bit of a worry. I think that was my main concern going back on Love Island. It's like, I had such an amazing, incredible run last time, and I've always been so loved, and I had the most amazing followers since. So it's like, oh, if I go back on there, I'm making myself vulnerable again. You know, things could happen that are out of my control, and you might be perceived in a different way. So that was the scariest part, is coming out and just making sure, like, people still love you for you. And luckily, it has been like that. I've come out to so much love, and everyone was like, Demi, you're gone too soon. So that's so nice to hear. So although it was short and sweet, I feel like I've made an impression, and I'm just so glad that people got to see me for me and they liked it. So yeah, happy. Some people that are classed as a villain from X series are the nicest people in real life. You wouldn't even believe that they get stuck with that stigma. That's it. Once they've got that villain stigma, they're stuck with it. And also, like you said, things are out of your control, and the way people react to situations is also out of your control. So it's just so difficult in there, but I'm just so lucky that everything came across as it should have done. So yeah, and I feel like even Messy Mitch said to me, he went, this time round, I want people to see the real me. But I mean, he's still being extremely messy, but he had good intentions from the start. He tried, bless his heart. Do you know what? I feel like Mitch wouldn't have been as messy if me and him coupled up. I genuinely think he really liked me in there. But unfortunately, I was last to pick, and obviously had an interest in Lou and everything. But if things had gone differently and me and Mitch coupled up, I genuinely don't think he'd be that messy because he was beelining. So yeah, I think right now, I think it's because he's not settled in his couple. I think that's why he's still messy. But I think if he actually found someone he generally likes, he's got a good heart, I think he would ride it out. Who of the girls were you closest to in the villa? Do you know what? First day we got there, we all breathed a sigh of relief, and we were like, we're the best girls ever. We were so happy. We were like having each other doing our makeup. We were like having cuddles in bed, just like straight from day one. We were just so happy, and we were like, if anyone leaves, like, what are we gonna do? Because like we don't want anyone else to come in. We have the best little like girl group. Unfortunately, I was the first to go anyway. But I think for me and Molly were definitely the closest in the villa, just because we did the original series together on series 6. But I was also really close to Hannah. We'd have like nighttime giggles at nighttime. Nighttime giggles at nighttime, obviously. And me and Han, she'd wake up in the night, and obviously we didn't want to wake up with no makeup on around the boys, just insecurities and all that. So Han would like tap me on the shoulder when she wakes up in the morning before the lights are on. She'd be like, Thames, like, come downstairs, go downstairs, put a bit of makeup on, put the big sunnies on, get back in bed and just lay there like this, ready for the lights to come on. Then we look all fresh and no one ever knew. But I just think she's incredible. Completely unexpected, Hannah and Tyler. Yeah, just completely unexpected. I think Han loves a bit of a geezer. I always said to her, I was like, what's your like fave date? She went, get me up the pub. Like, she's just like that way inclined, whereas I feel like Tyler's not like that. But I mean, this could be a pleasant surprise. They say opposites attract, and Han's such a lovely girl, so it's impossible not to fall in love with her. Do you have any regrets from your time in the villa? I actually don't. I feel like I kept all my options open completely, and it was nice to have some options this time, because I think last time I got pied like 300 times, so this time I was like lapping it up. It was great. But no regrets. I stayed true to myself, and I just had the best time and threw myself into it. So although short and sweet, I feel like I made the most of my time in there completely. Who are you most excited to catch up with after the show? I am gagging to see them all after the show. I feel like we've got so much to talk about, and so much happened in that first week with me in there. God knows what has happened since. So I just can't wait to see. And obviously you don't see all the ins and outs, and there's also private conversations happening that don't always get aired. So much goes on behind a closed door. You'll see like one argument and you'll think that's it, but there's 100 other, conversations talking about that. So I can't wait to see the real side of everything that's been going on. But I think me and Anton was so close. We called Anton, like, we're Anton's angels, so I can't wait to hear everything he's been saying. Can't wait to catch up with Molly and see how she's felt about the whole Georgia situation. So we got a lot of catching up to do, lots of cups of tea and coffee. Did All Stars live up to your expectations? All Stars exceeded my expectations, and I think the producers felt like that too. I don't think they really anticipated this much drama. It was incredible. I had the best week ever, so much laughs and giggles, all the drama, and I feel like it's just been such an incredible series, and we're not even at the end yet. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Digital Spy for more Love Island secrets.